Sauerkraut, the non-spicy kimchi of the West, and probably the easiest way to get into fermentation. All it takes is 3 ingredients: cabbage, salt. It's 2 ingredients. Well, they say there are 3 kinds of people in this world: people that know how to count and people that don't. Anyway, if you want to watch me make some sauerkraut, keep watching. Like I said, for ingredients, all you need is cabbage and salt, and maybe some water if you need to add some more water. I guess it was 3 ingredients. Of course, you'll need a knife and cutting board. You'll want a scale to weigh your ingredients as well. You'll need a container to put the cabbage in, and if you're in Korea, here's a little hack. I use a trash can I bought from E-Mart for about 3,000 won. The plastic is food safe, I checked, and the volume is perfect for a regular sized head of cabbage, maybe even 2. You'll need a large pot or tubs or something to mix the cabbage in. It's easier if you have more than one. The volume will decrease as you mix the salt, but the shredded cabbage takes up a lot of space. And you'll need a plate and a jar or something to weigh down the cabbage. But you can get creative with it. And that's it. And without further ado, let's get into it. First, you're going to peel off the outer layers of the cabbage and put them aside because we're going to save them for later. Now take your knife, cut the cabbage head in half, and cut it into quarters. Now take the quarters and cut out the heels of the cabbage. That's this part right here. Next, you're going to thinly slice the cabbage. You can use a mandolin if you have one. After you've sliced your cabbage, you're going to weigh it. We need to know the weight of the cabbage so we know how much salt to use in the brine. The salt will be 2% of that weight. Now add the salt to the cabbage and massage it. The salt will release water from the cabbage. Keep massaging the cabbage in the salt until the cabbage is submerged in most of its own juices. The volume of the cabbage will also decrease significantly. In terms of texture, the cabbage should feel softer. Here's a before and after picture of the cabbage. Just look at how much volume it's lost. You can transfer it into your fermentation container when you're done. In our case, the trash can. And here's another view. You can see just how much water the salt drew out of the cabbage, and it's submerged in its own brine. This, of course, is after I packed down the cabbage into the brine. You might find that you need some more brine. So, if that's the case, we're going to add more water. And of course, we're going to have to add salt to make sure that the salinity is correct. And again, it'll be 2% of the weight. We can now take the outer cabbage leaves that we saved from earlier and put it right on top. This will keep the little bits of sliced cabbage from floating around. Now just find a way to keep everything submerged. I usually use a plate, sometimes I'll weigh it down with a jar filled with some water. During the fermentation process, just make sure to check it every so often so that it's not going bad. If it turns out to be a bad batch, you might have to throw it out and start over, which is fine. Cabbage is cheap, water's cheap, salt's cheap. You can do this. Trial and error. It's all good. Now you just cover it and let it sit for a few weeks. I find that 4 weeks is good. Some sources will tell you 4 to 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks. You can go shorter, you can go longer, it's up to you. Once it's fermented to your taste, you can take out the plate, the extra weight, the extra cabbage layers, and transfer the sauerkraut to jars or whatever container you want to use, and just refrigerate it. I'm not sure how long the sauerkraut will last, but it should last a long time, at least a few months. Now turn the volume up and get that ASMR. Alright, here we go. ASMR, just for you. Gotta eat with chopsticks. Here we go. Very sour. It's so squeaky. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and share. Give it a try, it's super easy.